Hello, welcome to Developing Watch Faces for Wear OS. I'm Garan, and I'm a Developer Relations Engineer on Wear OS.
And I'm Julia, a software engineer in Wear OS.
Okay, so we don't have long, and we've got a lot to cover. So just a quick run through of the agenda today. Who's familiar with developing for Wear OS? Let's have a show of hands. Okay, good. This is maybe more than I thought there would be. How about developing watch faces? Okay, a few. Okay, good. Well, we'll start with some background on watch faces, because not everyone will be familiar with that. And then we'll give you an overview of watch face development itself. Following that, we're going to go into depth on watch face push, which is a new API we've introduced this year. We're excited to talk about. And then we'll finish up with some guidance on where you can head next. So let's dive in. I'll start off with why watch faces. I'm going to say that watch faces are the most important surface on Wear OS devices. I am a little bit biased, but if you think about it, it's what users are going to see 95% of the time, okay? And it's what makes the watch yours. You express your individuality through your watch face. A little bit of context here. Wear OS has a bunch of other surfaces as well for the developer. Let's briefly take a look at them. So you've got tiles. These are glanceable snapshots of information. With a simple swipe from the watch face, the user can look at the weather, check their fitness goals, or see their next appointment, things like that. For a more immersive experience, you've got apps, which are developed in much the same way as you develop a phone app. And then finally, you've got notifications. The platform is built so that notifications are automatically bridged to the watch, but you can also build local notifications as well. Now, there are a couple of previous DroidCon talks that focus on app development, and actually, as a bit of an advert, we've got a talk coming up in London in October where we go into these. We'll go into this, and there are links to this at the end. But we're not going to dwell on this today. Today is all about watch faces. So, choosing your watch face, it's a very personal experience. And users can choose from thousands of different watch faces through the on-device carousel or in the companion app. Watch faces are also very customizable. As a watch face developer, you can provide a whole range of configurable styles and options. And this is really important to the user because it helps make the watch theirs. And just before we dive into how to go about building watch faces, it's also worth stressing that watch faces are about much more than telling the time. Watch faces are engaging surfaces that can display a range of useful information through complications. You can see a few of these up here. We've got the weather, step counts, you've got Fitbit at the top, I think, and the date. And as app developers, you can engage with users by building your own complication data sources, providing any data that could be useful and engaging for the user.
So today we're mostly going to focus on the watch face development. So when designing a great watch face, we need to keep the following things in mind. The watch face has to be glanceable, using clear fonts and a simple layout so that users can see key information in a fraction of a second, which obviously includes showing the time. It also needs to be personal, which we achieve by including complications for data like weather or fitness, and allowing customization of colors and styles. But we also have to design for the hardware and keep in mind memory and power constraints. A validation tool which we will discuss later can be very useful for this. So for those familiar with the Wear OS development before, many used Android X APIs to build watch faces. But these are now deprecated, and watch face format is a requirement for built-in watch faces. The main reasons for the change were to optimize performance and to improve privacy. So an APK built with the watch face format is actually very simple. It only contains the following things. First is the standard Android manifest with the format version. Then there is watch face metadata with things such as preview, category, etc. And then there is watch face XML, which includes the actual definition of the watch face. And of course, it contains resources in the press folder, such as preview, images, or text values. And then the Wear OS platform is responsible for interpreting this XML and then the rendering the watch face. So generally, there are 3 tools that you can use to create a watch face. First one is the Watch Face Studio, which is a graphic tool for creating watch faces. Watch Face Designer is another one which was released just this month, where you can design watch faces directly in Figma. And finally, you can define format directly in Android Studio by manually modifying the declarative XML yourself. So the first 2 tools, Watch Face Studio and Watch Face Designer, actually don't require you to write any code, so they can be used by designers. So let's see a quick demo of the Watch Face Studio. So this was developed by Samsung, and it provides a graphical editor for creating watch faces from scratch. It allows you to customize and adjust elements, as you can see here, work with styles and complications, and design for ambient and interactive modes. The tool also allows you to deploy directly to your device or create bundle for uploading to Play. So for any designers using Figma, we have also announced a new plugin called Watch Face Designer. So the goal here was to really meet designers where they are. And we saw lots of people using Figma already for their other projects. So there is a plugin which allows you to build watch face directly in Figma, assign which elements are hands, add complications, and ambient behavior. And then you can export it directly or deploy it to your watch. Yeah, which... So finally, we have been working hard to provide tooling directly within Android Studio to help build watch faces. So this includes LinkedIn for the watch face format syntax, which is version aware, autocomplete, automatic run configuration to allow you to test on device or emulator. So Android Studio is suited for creators who want finer control over watch face format features or for advanced use cases of the format. So creating watch faces with the watch face format is great for creating and publishing individual watch faces. But watch face push, which was announced in Wear 6, takes this a step further. The primary use case of the API is to support watch face marketplaces, such as Recreative Watch Faces app shown here on the right. So from within your app, Watch Face Push gives you full control of the deployment of your watch faces, allowing you to build a completely custom experience and control how it is monetized. So let's go over high-level architecture. So what we expect for the most users of the Watch Face Push API is that there will be 2 apps, a phone app and a Wear OS app. As you can see here, though, the Watch Face Push API itself exists only on the watch. So at a high level, what is happening here is that we start with the watch face format APK on the phone. Then it goes through the process of the validation, which we will cover later, creating a token. Both of these are then sent over to the watch, where they are provided to the Watch Face Push API, which handles the actual installation of the watch face. So before we dive deeper into how it works, we want to do a demo. So hands up if anyone created their own avatar with Androidify. Okay, there are some people, so we will try it today as well. So we thought that it would be cool not only to create your custom robot, but also send it to your watch face. So you can scan the QR code if you want to try it out as well. So now I'm going to switch to Android Studio. Let me reconnect. Okay. So let's take a photo. And Garan.
I can't actually see without these glasses on, but I'll give it a go.
Okay, looks good. So now we are going through the process of generating a bot which is going to look like Garan.
Oh, let's hope so.
It takes a few moments. Okay.
That's got way too much hair.
Okay, so, and now we want to send it to the watch. There are several layouts that are available. We will choose one of them and send to the watch. Okay, let's see. Great, it worked.
Nice. I like that. Does that get a clap? Right. So before we carry on with the presentation, we're just going to dive into what's going on here. These watch faces were made originally using Watch Face Designer. So you can see here, just as you saw in the video earlier, this is Watch Face Designer plugin within Figma. And we've just designed this range of watch faces. And just clicking here, I can export them. This will produce the resources that Yulia talked about earlier. So if I come back to Android Studio here, in our Androidify project, which you can find on GitHub, these are just assets. If you can see up there, it's probably a little bit small. These are just assets within the project that are then loaded in. Right, so I'll just go back to presentation. So we're just going into a bit of detail now about how this worked. First, dealing with the phone side of things. So first of all, we start with the image that was created by Androidify. And we combine it with the selected watch face format template that Yulia showed you, which is just a bunch of XML and images. And there's a placeholder for exactly where that bot image should go. Then we need to build an APK, because watch face push works with regular watch face format APKs. And to do this, we use the pack library, which we've linked to at the bottom of the slide. However, in order to be eligible for installation, it has to pass some checks. So it's passed through a validation library, which produces a token that would be needed for installation. So let's have a quick look at what validation looks like. So unlike the regular Google Play Store, the responsibility is now on our app to verify the quality and the performance of each watch face. The validator runs several key checks that you can see here on the watch face APK. It looks at the security, it looks at the Android manifest, the signature, and also performance, as well as whether or not it's using the correct watch face format syntax. The performance and format checks are actually open source, so you can get those on GitHub. This process generates a validation token, and these tokens don't expire. So if the APK hasn't changed, you don't need to revalidate it. Still, it's a good idea to rerun these checks from time to time, since we do update the validator. The validator is available as a command line tool, or as a Java library, or as an Android library that can be integrated directly into the app, as we used here. So this is a code snippet that demonstrates how to use the watch face push validator to check a watch face file. First of all, you can see we create a validator. And then, if there are no validation failures, we simply get a token that we can then use in the installation steps. However, if we're unsuccessful, we get a list of failures that either need reporting or handling. Once it's validated, the APK is then transmitted to the watch using the data layer APIs. The capability client, message client, and the channel client provide the means to detect and droidify on the watch, set up the transfer, and then send over the APK.
So now we will see what happens on the watch side. So the Wear OS app usually acts as a bridge between a phone and the watch face push APIs on the watch. Therefore, it may not have a significant user experience. So its key responsibilities are to request necessary permissions, to provide a default watch face, and to initiate calls to the watch face push APIs to send data. So let's go through some examples of using APIs on the watch side. So the most important methods of this library are the ability to add, update, or remove watch faces, or set it as active. So once the APK was sent from the phone to the watch, it will be received on the watch side by the wearable listener service. We want to install it on the watch first. We will start with getting the instance of the watch face push manager, which is the entry point for all watch face push APIs. Then the add watch face method is called, passing the APK and the token to perform the installation. So once the watch face was added, it would be assigned to a slot which belongs to your application. It's possible to update the watch face at a particular slot. So in this code example, we search for the watch face to replace using the package name to obtain the slot ID. Then we call the update watch face, passing the slot ID, the new watch face, and a token. So this can be used to update the existing watch face if it has been improved with a new version, or it can be used to completely replace the watch face at a given slot with a different package. So once the watch face was added, it is also possible to set it as active. And this means that it becomes currently displayed watch face on the screen. For this, a special permission was added in the Android manifest, and the app must request it before calling setActive API. So the final feature we will talk about is the option to include a default watch face. So if you choose to add one, this is the watch face which will be installed on the Wear OS device at the same time as the overall app. So to implement this, it has to be added to the assets folder and included in the application metadata along with the token, and then it's going to be installed automatically on the device. So we have talked through some technical steps for developing with the watch face push, but what are the possibilities for using it? So it puts you in a complete control of the entire development pipeline, meaning publishing, distribution, and updates. So instead of managing several app listings for watch faces, it's possible to manage them all in one app. So you can create dynamic experiences or enable on-device generation, like we have shown you today with Androidify app. And it opens up custom monetization and subscription models within the app. So now let's look at some concrete examples of how it works in practice. So here are two examples of what's already available in the market. So first, there is an app on the left called Facer, which is the catalog model where users can browse through the library of designs and choose what they like. Or if they have a subscription, they can add it directly to the watch. And on the other side, there is Pucci, where you have the editor model, where users can design their own watch faces on device. And to help you get started with the development, we have put together a link of some useful resources. So yeah, the first one is a talk to dive deeper into creating apps on watch. And then there is the Android Wear main page and the watch face format page. And then there is a link to the Spotlight week with some experiences, new experiences available on Wear. And finally, there is a link to Androidify GitHub source code. Yeah, and for the final slide, I want to show you how it all looks in practice. So here are some examples of real-world watch faces from different developers, all using the watch face format that we have discussed today. Thank you.